exercise 3D on developing a formula, setting up a linear equation or linear equations in one unknown, or I should say with one unknown, but you get the idea. Alright, so we're saying one unknown value. Let's set up an equation in worded form so that we can solve it. In this situation, we've got a triangle where we need to find an equation for the perimeter of the triangle shown. Right, pretty straightforward. All I need to do is say, alright, well I've got the perimeter. Perimeter, I know we just add the different sides. So, P equals to 4 plus 7 plus x. I'm just adding the different sides together. Simplifying that gives me P equals to 11 plus x. Can I go any further with that? Can I solve it for x? Not really. Great, we're done. That's it. Super easy. All we're doing is being able to take out an equation from a worded question. So P equals to 11 plus x. We can't solve that because there's another variable, which is P. I don't know what that is, so we just leave it as is. Let's go into a more difficult one. So at a recent show, so do you have a question? Yes. No. Okay. At a recent show, Chris spent $100 on 8 show bags, each costing the same price. Now, a lot of you guys might instinctively think, all right, well, if each one is $100, so each total number, is $100, and each shopping bag we bought 8 of them, we can just go 100 divided by 8, which is true. But the question explicitly says, write an equation. So we need to use x as the cost of one show bag, and write an equation showing the cost of 8 show bags. So to write the cost of write an equation, with the cost of 8 show bags, 8 times by x, because each show bag is x, and we have 8 of them, which gives 100. If the question doesn't explicitly say to write an equation, you don't need to. You won't lose marks for that. However, if it does say to, you must. Yes?
Can you just write 8x?
Absolutely. That is actually preferable to write 8x.
Okay.
Good question. Next question says, use the equation to find the cost of one show bag. Of course, as we were talking about earlier, if we have 8 of them, we can just divide by 8, or we can use the equation and say divided by 8 on both sides. And we end up with x equals to 100 over 8. Can that be simplified?
Yeah.
Yes? What can we simplify to?
You can do it
50 over 4. Good. Halve both sides. Can that be simplified?
again, 25 over
25 over 2. Good. Can we change that to a decimal? Just because it's money, right? Mine as well.
12.5.
12.5. I like it. So I'm going to write the cost of one show bag is $12.50. I can't remember. I can't just write 12.5 because it is money. So you can't just leave it as 12.5 because we need 2 decimal places for money. Any questions? Seems pretty straightforward so far. Lovely. Last example, then I'll let you guys go into the questions. A car rental company has a fixed charge of $110 plus $84 per day for the hire of the car. The Brown family has a budget of $650 for the hire of the car during the family holiday. For how many days can they hire the car? So, you don't have to form an equation because it doesn't say to form an equation, but it is often the most simplistic step. I know they've got a budget of $650, and that's going to be total cost, isn't it? So I'm going to start by writing $650 here. Great. Now that I've done that, I need to figure out, well, what is the cost? So, I know the cost fixed charge of $110. What does a fixed charge mean? Casper?
That's the immediate cost.
Yep. Does it change if I use it for a year? No, exactly right. So the fixed charge doesn't change. It stays the same regardless. You can use it for a year. You can use it for a minute. Doesn't matter. It still costs $110. I need to add the rate, which we know is $84 per day. So I'm going to write $84. And how do I write per day? D. Let's use D. So I can say 84 times by D. So if D equals to 1, as in it's 1 day, it's just 1 times 84. Perfect. So however many days, we multiply that by $84, and add 110 to get our answer. Now, the problem with what we've done so far is that the question hasn't defined what D is. We need to specify what D is. So we need to write let D equals number of days. Let D equals the number of days. It's super important that we define what the variable is. Great, so we form the equation 650 equals 110 plus 84 times D. Let's solve it. So I'm going to minus 110 on both sides. They cancel, oh, not this one. These two cancel out. I get 540 here. And on the right hand side I have 84 times D. Then I'm going to divide both sides by D. Not D, sorry, 84. Making so many mistakes today. These two cancel out. And we end up with 540 over 84 equals to D. Now, of course, you're not expected to solve that one by hand, as in 540 divided by 84. So just put in the calculator, and you end up with D equals to 6.428. Is 6.428 days an option? No? So how many days? 6 days. Therefore, I'm going to write the family can hire the car for 6 days. Lovely. Any questions for me? Pretty straightforward? Awesome.